سناتور لیزا چمبرز، رهبری سنای ایرلند. من می‌خواهم ادای احترام خاصی به زنان الهام بخش ایرانی بکنم که هر روز رفاه و امنیت خود و خانواده‌هایشان را در مبارزه برای آزادی برای ایران فدا می‌کنند. بسیاری از آنها بالاترین قیمت را با جانشان پرداخته‌اند. امروز ما آن فداکاری را به یاد می‌آوریم.
هر زن و دختر باید در سیاست ایران و همچنین در تمام جنبه‌های زندگی در ایران مشارکت داشته باشد. به همین دلیل آنها در خط مقدم رهبری را به دست گرفته‌اند.
Good afternoon or good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today at the Free Iran World Summit here in Paris, as leader of the Irish Senate and as leader of the Irish delegation. I am joined on stage this evening by my colleagues Deputy Paudie O'Sullivan, Senator Jerry Horkin, former MEP Jim Higgins, and Senators Diarmuid Wilson and Aidan Davitt. And it's a privilege for us to be here and to be invited to speak at this an amazing, historic World Summit. President Rajavi, distinguished guests, friends, colleagues and parliamentarians from across the world. We have an important job to do here today to highlight the ongoing atrocities and challenges faced by the Iranian people, but really importantly to pledge to do something about it. And we have the platform and the ability to force this change with the Iranian people. Ireland has been clear in its condemnation of the repression of protests by the Iranian authorities, as well as the clear breaches of human rights in the country. We have repeatedly called on the Iranian authorities to respect the fundamental rights of freedom of expression and freedom of assembly. Clearly, those rights are not being respected today in Iran. Our government has raised these concerns directly with the Iranian embassy in Dublin and with officials in Tehran and continues to do that to this day. In 2022, just last year, Ireland co-sponsored the annual Canadian-led resolution on Iran at the Third Committee of the UN General Assembly, and this resolution addressed many of the key issues affecting human rights in Iran. As a country, we also co-sponsored the convening of a special session of the Human Rights Council on the 24th of November last year, which voted to create a fact-finding mission to investigate and report on human rights violations in Iran. The Irish government has been very clear. The executions carried out by the Iranian authorities and the severe sentencing of protesters is unacceptable, and we utterly condemn these actions. Restrictive measures now apply to over 200 individuals and more than 30 entities in Iran. These include acid freezing, EU travel bans, and a ban on exports to Iran of equipment that could be used to repress the Iranian people. Last year, in October of Masha Amini, I drafted a resolution for the Irish Senate that passed with unanimous support of all members of our House on the issues affecting the Iranian people, in particular the violations against women and girls. Some of the key issues addressed in that motion: we condemned the unrelenting and oppressive actions by the Iranian authorities. We support the right to the freedom of expression and the freedom of assembly of the Iranian people. We condemn the restrictions on access to the internet, which restricts freedom of expression and also freedom of assembly. I want to pay particular tribute to the inspirational Iranian women who every day sacrifice their well-being and their safety and that of their families in the fight for freedom for Iran. Many of them have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Today we remember that sacrifice. I feel a particular responsibility as a woman and as a female member of Parliament to continue to raise the plight of Iranian people, in particular women and girls, and to use the platform that I have to advocate for a free and democratic Iran, and really importantly to the full and equal participation of Iranian women in every aspect of Iranian life. We know what it means to fight for a free, democratic republic because we had to do that ourselves. We want the very same for Iran, and we want to help you achieve what we managed to achieve not that long ago. No country can reach its full potential if it limits the freedoms and the opportunity of half of its population. If you limit the women in your country, you're limiting your country. And the message that I want to deliver today is that every woman and girl should have full participation in Iranian politics, but all aspects of Iranian life. And that's why we see them leading from the front. The values that the Irish people hold very dear. We protect vigorously our democracy, the rule of law and a rule-based system. And we also protect the basic rights of freedom of expression, freedom of assembly and equality for our citizens. These are the things that I know the Iranian people also hold dear and are fighting every day to achieve. We therefore, all of us that have the luxury and the privilege of living in a democracy, have a duty to never be silent on the issues affecting the Iranian people, to never turn a blind eye to the atrocities being perpetrated on the Iranian people by the Iranian authorities, and to use every ounce of power and influence that we have domestically and within the European Union and across the globe to bring about the change that the Iranian people are demanding. The efforts to suppress the uprising have not been successful, and I congratulate you for that effort. That is because the Iranian people have demonstrated incredible bravery, courage and resilience in resisting any sort of suppression of their right to protest and to demonstrate. In particular, I think you'll all agree, the voices and the actions of the young people of Iran have been particularly impressive. And because they are your future leaders, and because they are the future of your country, it gives me great hope to see every day the power and the influence that they exert in their own communities and right across the Iranian countryside. I want to make it clear today that the majority of members of both the Senate and the lower house, as illustrated by both of the documents presented here today, are in support of President Rajavi's democratic plan for Iran, the 10-point plan. And many members of both houses have signed a very detailed letter regarding same and have given full support to the objective and the goal of all of us here today to see a free and democratic Iran. Finally, I will finish by saying that I truly believe that change is possible and that change is coming. And our message here today as the Irish delegation from both houses of our Parliament is that Irish politicians are on your side. Thank you.
پروفسور ریتا زوسموت، رئیس پیشین مجلس فدرال آلمان به مدت 10 سال. خانم رجوی، ما به شما اعتماد داریم و می‌دانیم که برای مردم خودتان و برای تقدیر از ارزش‌های دموکراتیک در کل جهان چه کاری انجام داده‌اید.
Good evening. I belong to the German group. And as was always said, we are not weak. We try to be strong. But it's not difficult, not easy to get stronger when there are so many barriers. But let's say we get stronger and stronger. So for me, myself, we just heard in the afternoon 42 years of resistance. Dear distinguished guests, I have to say I was only 12 years. But believe me, I give not up. And we give not up. Why? Because a certain conviction, a certain hope, a certain belief gets us strong. Today we are not weak. Why do I say it? Because after all experience, I can assure you, now we have a big group. Never before we had such a big group of parliamentarians, of politicians, of people from all over the world, especially in Europe, that helped us to get stronger. And myself, I was really influenced by good personalities. And one of the outstanding personalities was Madame Rajavi, is Madame Rajavi, because she also encouraged us to say, we continue. And even with the misery points in our evolution, we can say nobody is able to do it alone. Even if you have 2 or 3 strong personalities, that's not enough. You have to find more. To invite them, as it was done today by several speakers, and I can continue and say, today, all the bad news about the Iranian resistance is expression of fear. And I would say in the meantime of recognition. They fear that there could be something urging them to change. But they still resist to change. And it has been done by many, many people, parliamentarians, governments. Of course, there are sometimes tensions between governments and parliaments. That's democracy. I have to say, look not at all these campaigns against certain personalities. Madame Rajavi, we trust on you, and we know what you have done for your people, but not only for your people, but for the democratic appreciation in the whole world. And don't believe that women are weak. We are strong. And get stronger, but in cooperation with one another and not against one another. That's idiot in a time when we need one another to fight against one another. Thank you very much to all of you, especially to our leaders, and help us to continue.
کارستن مولر، نماینده مجلس فدرال آلمان. شورای ملی مقاومت با برنامه 10 ماده‌ای بسیار هوشمندانه مسیر آینده بعد از آزادی را ترسیم کرده است. به همین دلیل تصادفی نیست که بیش از 3600 نماینده از همه کشورهایی که آزاد هستند در کنار شما ایستاده‌اند و از شما حمایت می‌کنند.
Sehr geehrte Frau Präsidentin Rajavi, Exzellenzen, meine sehr geehrten Damen und Herren, liebe Freunde. Ist es nicht so, dass uns allen das Herz bricht, wenn wir uns anschauen, was dieses tyrannische, mörderische, brutale, widerliche Mullah-Regime mit diesem wunderbaren Land macht, mit diesen wunderbaren Menschen, die für die Freiheit, für die Rechtsstaatlichkeit im Iran auf die Straßen gehen und die sich so einer breiten weltweiten Unterstützung erfreuen. Und, meine Damen und Herren, ich will das sagen, ist heute für mich etwas ganz Besonderes. Aus zwei Gründen. Die meisten von Ihnen werden es wissen. ریتا Zosmot, die eben zu Ihnen gesprochen hat, ist in Deutschland eine wahre Ikone. Und das ist sie auch für mich. ریتا Zosmot steht für einen unbändigen Freiheitswillen. Die lässt sich überhaupt nicht mundtot machen, auch nicht von einem Mullah-Regime in Teheran. Und sie hat einen unglaublichen Mut. Und das ist es, was die Menschen brauchen. Die Menschen und Sie vom Nationalen Widerstandsrat brauchen Mut, Unterstützung, Gemeinsamkeit. Und die Menschen im Iran, die ihr Leben für Freiheit riskieren, brauchen diesen Mut auch. Der Nationale Widerstandsrat hat mit einem besonders klugen 10-Punkte-Papier die Diskussion, wie kann es nach der Befreiung weitergehen, ganz besonders befördert. Und es sind unglaublich kluge und hervorragende Ansätze in diesem 10-Punkte-Papier umfasst. Und deswegen ist es auch kein Zufall, dass über 3.600 Abgeordnete aus allen Staaten, die frei sind, an ihrer Seite stehen, sie unterstützen, das mit ihrem Namen, mit ihrer Glaubwürdigkeit, mit ihrer Unterschrift zeigen. Und, meine Damen und Herren, ich will das auch noch mal sagen, wir wollen Sie ermutigen. An sich ist das ja eine ganz traurige Situation, wenn wir uns anschauen, was im Moment im Iran passiert. Und deswegen soll diese wunderbare Veranstaltung ein Zeichen geben, dass Sie nicht nachlassen, dass der Nationale Widerstandsrat nicht nachlässt mit der wertvollen Arbeit und dass die Menschen im Iran sich nicht unterkriegen lassen. Wir wollen eine Ermutigung ausgehen lassen, so wie es eben ریتا Zosmot gesagt hat, an die tapferen Menschen im Iran. Wir wollen ihnen zeigen, dass wir an ihrer Seite stehen und ihnen die Gewissheit geben, gemeinsam schaffen wir das. Es waren wunderbare Redner heute hier, die, ich sage es ganz freimütig, bei denen ich nie für möglich gehalten habe, dass ich mal von derselben Stelle aus sprechen werde, die großartige Person. Sie haben diese Leute alle versammelt, an die Seite geholt. Gemeinsam schaffen wir das. Wir kämpfen gemeinsam für einen freien Iran. Wir unterstützen Sie. Sie kämpfen betreffend die Vorbereitung. Und ich freue mich, dass wir uns alle in nächster Zeit, und das Regime war noch nie so schwach, wie es heute ist, dass wir uns in allernächster Zeit in Teheran treffen. Alle Kraft, alle guten Wünsche. Vielen Dank.